think so. You hope that one of those guys, comes out of camp as the true guy. We are a little bit, I think, in 2016 when I first got here, we used 3 backs and that worked pretty well with Benny and Boom, and we had some guys that could run the ball and you felt confident. To me, that's the biggest thing, is that if one gets on a roll, you let them go. But it's just that confidence in terms of protection, everything that we need them to do in the pass game. If they can do that, they'll probably play. And, I haven't seen the stamina out of these 3 yet because they haven't had that opportunity. So try to push them hard in some of these scrimmages that we have coming up to see how many they can go in row and be effective. Benny got better as we went, so we'll see how these guys go.
You preach it every year, explosive plays with a guy like AJ, Terry, Lynn. What excitement does that bring that they can take off at any moment?
Yeah, that's what we really talked about this spring, and everybody says that we're going to throw the ball a lot more this year, so I'll get this out of the way right now, okay? Everything starts up front in this league. It's about the physicality, and big men lead the way. And if you cannot run the ball, you're going to have a hard time winning in this league. We want to be balanced. We want to be a little bit more balanced this year. So if you had 80 plays, if you had 40 throws and 40 runs, that would be perfect. That's the perfect scenario. What we've got to do is we've got to be more efficient in the passing game and more explosive. And then with, as you talked about, AJ and maybe some of these backs, we could maybe have some more explosive runs as well. 1 out of every 8, we want to have a 12-yard run or a 16-yard pass play. I think we've got some guys outside now that can help Terry and our quarterbacks make some plays, not just Lynn, because people will start doubling him and making it difficult, and we'll find ways to get Lynn the ball. But I think we've got some guys outside now that have matured enough that can really help us be more explosive.
Terry's getting enough respect as an efficient thrower and being just in the conference after school, and prom, he's the most efficient passer last year.
Yeah, you know what? I'm one of those. I don't know what they say. He has worked awfully hard. I think you saw the improvement in the spring at throwing the deep ball. We've got to be great at the little things. Last year we missed just throwing a bubble. We missed a bubble throw 30 times. So you're talking about your slot receivers, Lynn being that most of the time, where he could have thrown that out there. And, that's 50, say just we get half of them right this year. That's 15 more touches for your best player. And he's going to improve on those things in our RPO game. But then I think what he's done with his technique and fundamentals over the offseason, I don't think there's any question he's going to be a better football player.
You said that you don't really hear the outside, and I know last year with C.J. Conrad there was a lot of pressure to get him involved in the offense. This year, what's your view for the tight end position overall, and do you have the pieces to execute that view?
We certainly have the pieces. I really like all those guys. Our tight ends are going to look really good coming off the bus. Again, I think you've seen my mentality, of yes, we are going to be physical and we do need to run the football, but, play action pass using those tight ends that can run, I think all of them can do that. You get them involved that way and you use your personnel. CJ's got a chance to do some special things where he's at because some of the coaches talking about that the guy can block. And sometimes that's out of, those guys don't do that anymore in this world. And I think CJ's gonna be really successful in that league because what we asked him to do there, I think that's gonna help him. We always knew he could catch, but there's some times there where they doubled him, or they took some things away. And then as we got later into the year, it got a little bit better for him. So those guys are weapons. They can run, and I'm excited about that group.
Eddie Mark said he was mesmerized by what Keaton Upshaw could possibly bring to the table. What are some of the things you've seen that mesmerize you?
No, number one, as big as he is how well he runs. There's no stiffness. He runs very smooth. And what I liked about him is that he'll stick his face in there. And he'll get after it. And big bodies like that sometimes they don't. Early guys, freshmen, that physicality becomes tough. And he showed us that he can do both.
Eddie, what kind of jump do you think you'll see in Terry in that he's the incumbent, though he has to win the job? He's healthy. He knows the playbook. The players know him and trust him now. And he's the voice in the huddle compared to last year at this time. What kind of jump do you think of seeing him?
I think you saw a little bit of a jump with Steven Johnson just at the end of his first year as he finished it, and then in his second year, again, managing the game, understanding. The things I want to see from Terry is this, is that, you call a first down play, you're looking for a certain coverage, and we've got an alert, and we're going to throw a deep shot maybe, and all of a sudden they roll, and he knows exactly the coverage. He knows exactly that alert is done right now. He goes to number 2 and he goes to his check down and we're done. Those are the things that we did not do very well, and we've got to be better in terms of our football IQ at that position, and that's usually what happens from year 1 to year 2. And then so that's really what I'm really looking forward to him, is understanding this offense better for us to get out of second and longs and that third and long situation. We got to stay out of that, and we did not do a very good job kind of in the middle of the season of that.
Rich Brooks used to talk about Andre Woodson when he evolved. He said, it's not that he gets us into the right play, he gets us out of the wrong play. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. That's exactly right. You've got percentages and you've got information and statistics and all that, and you use them, and they're really good. But those guys on the other side are smart too, so they're going to change things up. You call it again, and you have that opportunity for a shot play. When they give it to you, take it. If not, check it down. You see the great ones in the NFL do it all the time. The Patriots running backs catch a lot of footballs, and that's because that guy that's the center, he understands that rush is coming. He doesn't want to get hit, and he understands what a 3-yard gain, a 4-yard gain is, because now he's going to be in that 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 area, and that's where we need to be. That's when we were really, really good last year.
So is there an expectation that our running backs are going to get out into the passing routes a little bit more this season?
There's no doubt. We did this spring. Our guys caught more balls this spring than they ever have. And that's understanding really the whole package too for them, in terms of blitz pickup, knowing, when you can get out, and, there should be times when we're in 6-man protection, but they get out so fast because they understand what's going on defensively. It's easy when it's no back and they've got free release, but when you watch those NFL running backs, they get out because they understand. They understand body language. They understand rotation. They're looking at the same thing that the quarterbacks are looking at. And so, I expect our guys to catch some more balls. And Terry being able to understand where those tight ends are on his checkdowns and where those running backs are.
Marking stuff talk about making the routine, live routine, and having guys execute around the quarterback. So people execute around it. Talk about the receivers who's going to be going to make the contested catches.
I think Josh Ali is starting to prove that he can do that. Isaiah Epps needs to be more consistent. He's got the speed, and so I'm looking for that to happen. But, the 2 guys that kind of came along at the end of the spring was Ahmad Wagner and big target. And you get that ball in his area, and those guys got to make those catches, and also Bryce Oliver. He was somebody at the end of the spring that I was really excited about and saw his progress. So that's going to be fun for that group as they come out. Again, as I started this, I do believe we've got some playmakers besides Lynn that can make some plays for our quarterback when that needs to happen, and that hasn't been consistent for us. And I think this is the time that it needs to happen.
You talk about Justin Greg. He's your most experienced tight end coming back. After playing behind CJ, what do you kind of hope for him this year? Where do you see him fitting in the best?
Keep growing, in his maturity in the game. I think that he can run and he's really smooth. Justin, he'll surprise you. He can run, and his physicality at the point of attack is really good. So I like for him to just be a leader and continue to grow in that position, and it's his job, just like Terry's, to lose, or AJ or whoever we got slated, but we're going to compete, and he's got a bunch of guys underneath him, just like I do at running back position. I tell AJ every day, you better get ready now. You got some guys that are coming after your rear end, so same thing in that room. So I just want to see him mature more in this offense in terms of, the details and the fundamentals and taking care of his craft.
What jumped out to you when you first saw Sawyer Smith's film?
Toughness, smart, got rid of the ball, quick, just watching that, and then just talking to people that coached him. what he brings to the table in that locker room. Those things are all so important when you have a guy like that come in that come in from another school and they transfer. If you get somebody that's not right in the locker room, it can be a bad deal. And so far he's shown all that. He's fantastic to be around. He wants to learn. He's a team guy. And there's a guy that was a backup, came in, led their team to a lot of victories, and did what the coaches asked for him. So I loved his humility and the way he approached that.
Steven Johnson did kind of similar things for you guys. Are they cut from the same cloth?
I don't know that yet. Steven Johnson was one of the toughest human beings I've ever been around, bar none. One of the toughest kids I've ever coached. So I don't know that yet. I haven't seen him and looked at his eyes, after he gets hit, 2 or 3 times right underneath the chin. And he gets up and says, "Coach, don't even think about taking me out." And, it's pretty strong.
Eddie, a lot of guys, coaches in Boston, Miners, George, and a bunch may have some concerns going into the season, but you've got a lot of guys who played a lot of snaps behind their been in the rotation. How do you feel about those guys right here?
You get the starting 5 that have had a lot of snaps, and then you've got Nasir and Mason Wolf. So you've got 7 guys right there that have played a lot of snaps here. Enough to where when you go out there that they've been through it, and so that's a good nucleus as we go. And then you've got Kenneth Horsey, and you've got Dotson, Nick Lewis, and some guys and Quentin Wilson that we're now developing. And those are the guys that will change places with those guys, and hopefully, we get some type of a rotation. And we got to find out through the competition here in the next 29 practices of who that nucleus is going to be. But I'm excited about where they're at and where we're going with that group.
Do you think Alan Daly has taken the steps necessary to go to the next level this season?
I do. In that slot position, you're going to have him and Cleavon Thomas, and Cleavon's he's going to be really the backup to both sides, and our Y and our F, and that's a young man that's got to do something as well. But Alan is a big physical guy. He's not the fastest guy, but he's really consistent. And as I heard Coach talk about that, as a freshman, he kind of hit a wall, and hopefully he'll have now after a year. That you see something different from him. I really like him. I like what we're going to have at that position because it's going to be awfully competitive. But we need something out of Cleavon Thomas. It's time for him to be a guy. It's time for Isaiah Epps to be a guy all the time. Not just here and there. There's no more time for that. That's not what we're looking for here. It's time to have grown man pants on, and then let's go.
Why do you think it's been hard to find that consistency with some of those receivers?
Some of them have been young when they first started out here. Epps and Ollie, should they have played as freshmen? Probably not. Alan Daly, probably not. But now we're in our 3rd year, right? You should see something really, really good out of these guys. You look at their bodies right now. You look at how they've trained with Coach Ed and Coach Hill, night and day. So, you look at our DBs over those DBs that left. You look at them when they were young, and it was frustrating. It was frustrating for Coach, and I think it's been frustrating for me, for Coach, for everybody, with the receivers too. But now they're bigger, stronger, faster, and they know this offense, and so we should have more production.
How do you gauge their performance against like this new set of defensive backs? Obviously, we lost 5 guys that have graduated. Is there an expectation with this wide receiver group for them to come out and dominate out of the gate?
Yeah, number one, I don't. That's not going to happen. We got good players over there. I want them to compete. We talked about it, last night. We got to compete. Compete every single rep that you have. This game's about competing, and if there's a ball up in the air, it's ours, not theirs. So I don't see us just coming out and dominating, But yes, do I want to win more? I do. I did last year. I did every year. I want to win every drill, and even against those guys last year, So that's the mentality.
And what do you like about Travis Tisdale?
What did you guys? Can he get into the rotation?
That'll be interesting. What I like about him is he's really fast. You know, as we talked about where we were with our running backs, and you know, we had guys that were 5'11" to 6'2", 200 pounds. We had the big guys, and so we wanted a different change of speed. And so we went out and we looked and we found him, and he's tough, hard-nosed. He came in here and he ran like a 4.32 laser right when he got here with Coach Ed. He's explosive. So he's got legit speed. He's got that Boom Williams, I think, type of speed. So I know he's got toughness from where who coached him and where he's from. He's had a great summer. I love his attitude. So it's going to be fun to see him get some reps and see what he can do.
Yeah, Eddie, I heard a rumor out on the street last year that you may have felt a little handcuffed in executing your offensive philosophy. Can you confirm or deny?
This offensive philosophy is about your person. I learned more in 35 years of coaching after my first year here. You can remember in 16, come from Cincinnati, we're fourth in the country, we're throwing it all over the place, but that was who we had personnel-wise. We came here, and Drew Barker, that first game, we're throwing it. We had the guys around him, and we felt like he had the arm to get it done. And then he got hurt, and we had to do something. Who was, personnel-wise, where were we? Well, our offensive line was really good. We had some really good backs, our tight ends, and we had a new quarterback. We got into this Wildcat formation, and we tried every week to build around that package. People hadn't seen it, and we ended up with 2,000-yard rushers. And, there was a point in there of about 2 or 3 games, and they said, where did this fool come from? And then we ripped off 6 games, and then you become a hero, and you're smart again. And I always, I learned more that year about humility. And it's about team. It's about wins. Is it not still about winning the game? The only thing I could have done last year is screw it up. That's it. We have a brand new quarterback. We could run the ball. We had a great defense, and we played great special teams. So if I go back there and I want to rip it around because I want statistics, then I wouldn't be here right now, because that wouldn't have been very smart. So we're going to find out our personality of this team. We're going to see what Terry can do, always build around our quarterbacks, and then we're going to go from there. But it doesn't matter. The bottom line is win the game.
My question,
Folks, we have
explosiveness is going to be talked about a lot this year, but tempo has never really been a part since that first year and you had to change things up. Do you have to play with more tempo to get more explosive play?
I don't think so. I don't think so. What we have to do is we've got to be efficient on first down so we can have more plays. We weren't that efficiency in our first couple of years was really good. We're 4 yards or more on first down. Now you're creating more first downs. In Cincinnati, we were even running the ball at 280 yards a game, 250 yards a game there. We were number 1 in the country in first downs. And we weren't just playing lightning fast. It was about the efficiency of first down. So if you get more first downs, you've got more plays. Therefore, you have more chances at being explosive.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.